Hey, what's up, guys? It's Nick from Part-Time Pilot. This is day 5 of our 5-day challenge. This is our 5th video, 5-day challenge of how to make you a pilot in 2022. So let's talk about ground school / ground training, because you don't actually have to go to a ground school. We'll talk about this in a sec. But the purpose of ground training is to learn all the ground material required to be a competent pilot and required to pass the FAA written exam. Okay, so to become a private pilot, you have to take and pass the FAA written exam and take and pass the FAA practical flight check ride. All right, so there's 2 tests you have to pass: a practical one where you're actually flying, and a written one where you show that you know all the ground material, so all the information, all the background fundamental knowledge that it takes to become a pilot. All right, so that is why you need ground training. And Part-Time Pilot highly recommends performing your ground training with a ground school or self-study, we'll get to that in a sec, before starting your flight training. And we recommend this for the following critical reasons. 1, learning the ground knowledge before beginning flight training is less of a demand on your time. For those that work full-time and have other responsibilities, this is a huge deal. Okay, so instead of, flying with your flight instructor and preparing for those flights, preparing for cross-country flights, performing performance calculations, all that stuff that takes a lot of time on the ground too. Instead of doing that, as well as reading the ground books, watching videos, going to ground school courses, classes at the same time, that is a huge demand on your time. So that doing ground, breaking this out, doing the ground knowledge first, and then the flight training second, is a less of demand on your time. All right, now 2. Learning the ground knowledge before beginning flight training is less demand on your mind. So when you understand the ground material by the time you start flying, you will be a step ahead. You will be able to fully focus on learning the practical skills of flying an airplane, and things will start to make sense. This is the perfect transition, right? So what you're going to do in ground training is you're going to read about the instruments. You're going to read, you're going to watch videos. You're going to learn about all the instruments and the navigation skills and the charts and the performance calculations and the maneuvers, all this stuff, weather, all that stuff. You're going to learn all about that. And then, once you know that and you go to flying, now you're going to have the practical application that's going to drive in those points into your mind. So you're going to learn about how thunderstorms are dangerous and how to find out when a thunderstorm's coming from certain, pilot reports and SIGMETs and stuff like that. And then when you go to fly your cross country, your flight instructor is going to tell you to check all those things, and then bam, one day you're going to find a convective SIGMET has popped up on your cross country, and your instructor is going to ask you if you should fly or not, and your ground training is going to have told you no, you shouldn't fly right now. All right, so these are the type of thing. It's gonna, when you learn the ground knowledge before, it's gonna split this demand up, and then by the time your flight training is just gonna drive in those points, and you're gonna be a step ahead for the flight training. All right, and finally, the third, learning ground knowledge before flight training is going to save you money, especially in the long run. So again, just like I talked about with a less demand on your time and mind, it's gonna be less demand on your wallet. So when you do the ground training first, and then when you get with your flight instructor is going to be impressed that you know everything already. Your flight instructor is going to be sweet. All I have to do is focus on the flights, the maneuvers with this person. So they're not going to have to spend time with you on the ground teaching you all this ground material, making sure that you are prepared to pass your FAA written exam. You're already going to have that out of the way, done, and every hour that you spend on the ground with your flight instructor, you have to pay them hourly. So this, if you don't have to do that, that is huge savings in the long run. All right, so what are your options for ground training? You have 3 options. The first one is a traditional in-person ground school. So this is what you think about when you think of school. There's a classroom. You'll meet either weekly or even twice a week. And then some even have like 8 to 10 hour classes 3 days in a row where it's just like fire hose of knowledge. I don't recommend that. Maybe if you have already taken a ground school and you just need a refresher, that might work. Typically ranges from $300 to $700, so it's a bit expensive. But the pros are you get the endorsement that you need to take the FAA written at the end of the course. The in-person instruction allows for more hands-on learning. Sometimes they might, if it's at a flight school, they might take you out to an airplane, show you the airplane. And then the ability to be face-to-face and interact with an instructor, raise your hand, ask a question, that sort of thing. Cons, it is expensive. It's the most expensive option. It's on a strict class schedule, so you have to drive to a scheduled class every week. And then it doesn't always have instructor access you hoped for. This is if the class is large, or in my case, the instructor was really busy. They were just getting done with a long day of flying and would leave straight after that, and wasn't really time to ask questions. So that's it. In-person ground school. Your other option is an online ground school. This is probably the most popular one these days. It's a lot cheaper. It ranges from $140 to $400. Some are still pretty expensive, but there's some great options out there. Classes are pre-recorded videos, written lessons, quizzes, and they give you access through an online portal. Some schools offer lifetime access, while others just yearly or monthly access. I'll get into a bit about what you want to look for in the different online ground schools in a second. So the pros, again, you get an endorsement given at the end of the course that you can just most of the online ground schools out there, you can just, as soon as you finish the course, you show that you know the knowledge, they'll submit an endorsement to you online that you can print and take with you to the FAA written. It's cheaper than in person. Classes can be completed on your own schedule. So if you have a full-time job, a bunch of responsibilities, this is a nice thing to have. And then you can review as much as possible if lifetime access is given. And again, this is important to have lifetime access as a pilot, because you're always having to review this information. And then most of them have an online community learning and material access for life, so that's good. You can always get your questions answered online, and then you're able to learn from anywhere, right? So you don't have to drive to a specific class. And of course, the cons is it's less hands-on. But in today's world, this is getting less and less of a thing, right? With COVID, we all got used to Zoom meetings and interactive videos and stuff like that. So that less and less of a thing, but that is one con. If you need that hands-on interaction with an instructor, it might not be the one for you. But a lot of ground schools, you can interact with their instructors every day through chat, so might not be a big issue. And then finally, the last option is self-study. You don't have to go to a ground school. You don't have to go to an online ground school. You can completely learn this material all by yourself. Did you know that? Well, you can. So you can study all the necessary material on your own using books you can find on Amazon, all the free FAA material. Honestly, you really don't have to purchase a thing. You can find FAA PDFs all online, a bunch of YouTube videos like ours that are all free. Our free study guide, you can go to parttimepilot.com/free content. We have a free study guide. You can go through all that stuff. You can learn all the material yourself. You can go to the FAA and find out all the subjects you need to know. You can learn it all yourself. The only problem is that you need to find an instructor that will endorse you. So an endorsement is an instructor that says, hey, this person knows all this material and it knows it well enough to pass the FAA written exam. So you'll have to find an instructor. You can look one up and call them. They may or may not require payment. And you're probably going to have to prove to them that you know the knowledge. So you might have to pass a test for them and show them the results, or even do the test in front of them, depending on the instructor. But they're not just going to endorse anybody willy-nilly. Okay, so that is the one con of a self-study. Well, it's one of the cons. We'll get to that in a sec. So the pros, obviously it's the cheapest option. You can do it completely for free if you can find an instructor that'll do it for free. Learn on your own time and from anywhere. The cons, again, we talked about no endorsement, no instructor or community to get questions answered, and then no structured syllabus and requires strong self-motivation. So I think these are the two main reasons, actually probably three main reasons people don't self-study. One, you don't have someone to ask questions to because you're going to have questions. Two, it's not structured. So, you might go online and be like, okay, I'm going to learn this today. But a structured syllabus really builds, each lesson builds upon one another and furthers your understanding of the previous lesson. So that can be very helpful. And then the self-motivation, if you don't have, lessons to complete that, to track your progress, stuff like that, you're going to have strong self-motivation. If you have that, that's great. Sometimes we need that extra push. But this is completely an option. So it's up to you what you want to pick. But our recommendation is online ground school. It is, let's go back to that. It's the cheapest option other than self-study, but everything's structured. You have online communities. You can get lifetime access. So I recommend you find, a good price, lifetime access with community learning, and one where the instructor is available. Just so happens, and I swear I'm not being biased, that Part-Time Pilot is that online ground school. And just so happens that we're the best priced. Now, I tried to make this table of the top online ground schools as unbiased as possible. I have a video. You can check that out up here by clicking here to watch that. I tried to be unbiased as possible, do all the research live on the video, compile this table, and see what we came up with, see how other places compare. There are some, like Gleam is cheaper, but you have to pay per year. It's not lifetime access. Part-Time Pilot is $140 for life. And as a private pilot, every 2 years you have to prove to the FAA that you know the ground material, that you've had a ground review. So lifetime access is going to be a good thing because these other places, they'll charge you for that. You get your endorsement. You can print it, take it to the FAA written. All our test answers, so FAA practice test answers, have explanations to them. Again, we talked about lifetime access. We have bonus study flashcards and bonus tutorial eBooks. This is stuff on the more complicated stuff that require a bunch of examples, like cross-country planning and a bunch of calculations, stuff like that. Online study group. So we have a Facebook group where the only thing we talk about is ground school study. No politics, no, hey, come to this event, nothing. All it is questions about ground school. And if I don't answer within a couple hours, someone else is going to answer with a couple hours. And then I don't even have this listed, but my availability is I'm dedicated to you guys and getting your answers. So you can message me on Facebook, Instagram, or directly to our email at team@parttimepilot.com. I'm available to answer your questions. So is our online study group. And then a money-back guarantee. Not everyone gives a money-back guarantee. Not everyone gives a money-back guarantee. As you can see, Rod Machado does not. But all these ones that do, they have the stipulation that you have to you have to take and fail the FAA written, and then they basically guarantee you pass, and if not, they'll give you your money back. We are taking that step further in that we have worry-free purchases. If you want to try it out, if you want to see what it's like, go ahead. I'm not trying to take your money. We're just trying to help you become pilot, be a good company. I would hate to be a company that says no to someone on wanting a refund. That brings bad reviews. That brings bad juju. That's not what I'm about. We want you to want to be in our course. All right. So, and by the way, everyone that's finished our course has passed the FAA written. So it's worth your while if you do it, and we're confident in that. And that's why we give that money back guarantee. And then finally, we give out scholarships. King's has a partnership with a scholarship that they do once a year. But no other place does scholarships for the students. And we give out about 4 a year. So we have a scholarship fund, and we donate $20 every time someone signs up for online ground school. We also have a GoFundMe if anyone wants to donate, but mostly it's just our donations. And once that fund reaches $1,000, we choose one of the students in our online ground school and give it to them. And so far in less than a year that we've been a ground school, we've given out 3 already, and we're about to give out our 4th one. And we're super excited. All you have to do is, once you're in on your membership page, once you're in our online ground school, there's a short application. It's really short. So that's the only thing you have to do. You just have to be in our online ground school and fill out that short application, and you can get $1,000 scholarship. So I'll leave it. I'm obviously pretty biased, but I try to be completely unbiased in this. But no matter what, whether you choose us or not, we recommend an online ground school. I think it's the best bang for your buck. It's at your own time, especially today with all you student pilots that are out there with a full-time job, scrapping every day to find time to do this stuff and really busting your butt. That'll give you the flexibility to learn on your own time. And then all the free materials and all the help out there that you can use to supplement that, it just makes sense to save some money and do it at your own time. So hope you guys liked the video. If you have any questions, please comment below. And as always, subscribe to Part-Time Pilot. And we're on Instagram at part.time.pilot. And congratulations. That's the last day 5 of the 5-day challenge of becoming a pilot in 2022. If you did everything in the 5-day challenge, you've gotten your student pilot certificate, you've scheduled your medical certificate, and gotten everything ready to pass your medical exam, and you signed up for an online ground school. So congratulations. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to hit us up on your journey through your ground school, through your flight training. We're here to help you guys, even if you didn't sign up for Part-Time Pilot. We're just here to help. We want to help people. We want to be the good guys. So, yeah, hit us up.